right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to open the meeting, and it's going to be a little bit different here at the beginning because tonight is our annual meeting for AWAC. And this is the meeting where we elect our officers for the next year. So we're going to start with the election, and then I will turn it over to the board for the rest of the meeting. So my board has their ballots before them. If you would please complete them, let me know and I'll pick them up and read the results. All right. The election of officers for AWAC for 2024. President, Michelle Kelly. Vice President. Go ahead. Never gets enough applause. It's okay. Vice President Greg Amperano. Secretary Michael Schultz. And Treasurer Patti McGonigle. Thank you, and I will now turn the meeting over to our new president, Michelle Kelly.
Number 3 announcement. By mutual agreement, Rich Scott has tendered his resignation as the president of the AWAC Board of Directors. And from the AWAC Board. Rich Scott will remain as the AWAC inspector. We thank Rich for his service to AWAC and their Arrowhead Woods community. Number 4, approval of the meeting agenda. Board members, will you please review this evening's agenda? I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Patty.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, number 5, approval of the minutes of the May 9th, 2024 board meeting. Michael?
On the board meeting, please review the minutes from the May 9th, 2024 board meeting.
Have all board members had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes from the May 9th, 2024 meeting?
Yes. I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, who was that? Was that Craig?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And did I hear Michael? Second?
Yes, I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain. I was not a member.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Item number 6, approval of the May 2024 financials. Patty?
Thank you. Please review the financial statements from May 2024. And our president will entertain a motion.
Have all board members had the opportunity to review the financials for May 2024?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the financials?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, item number 7, public comments and questions. This time is allocated to the public to address any matters or questions. And I do want to emphasize that previously it was delegated solely to items that were on the agenda, but we heard the voice of the community that indicated that they would like to speak on anything that relates to AWAC. So we have changed that premise, which the directors or officers will answer at the time if possible, or will reach out with a follow-up written response. It is requested that individuals limit their time to 3 minutes or less. And I do want to state that your voice is important, but we do ask you to maintain the 3-minute limit. There is a warning on, for those folks online, it gives a little bell, and there is a clock online. For those who are in the room, Patty has so kindly agreed to keep track of time. We just want to make sure everybody has the fair opportunity to speak. Time may not be transferred to another individual. Attendees wishing to make public comments are requested to complete and hand in requests at the board table, according to the instructions provided prior to the commencement of the meeting. Well, the meeting's already started, so we'll still give you that opportunity. I don't think we've ever denied that.
The public comment cards are in the back, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're attending virtually, please submit your request. Well, it says by email. And you know, if you want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you, okay? We want to be fair about that. It is requested that all individuals observe proper etiquette, utilizing this time in a proactive and respectful manner. And I know folks get frustrated when they get cut off, but please adhere to the 3-minute time limit. And you know, I hate to even have to say this, you know, we've had repeated outbursts in the past and shouting, an individual even threw something at the last meeting. But we reserve the right to allow attendance only by Zoom for future meetings. And you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't think anybody does. We want to see you. We want to be able to speak with you and hear your comments. We value your in-person attendance and hope that all present here this evening can conduct themselves in a respectful manner. And I trust that you can. However, if outbursts continue, Zoom will be the only way attendance at our meeting is offered. Number 8, okay, so old business, update on SB 1405.
Marilyn has a hand up.
Yes,
Is there a way you can turn on those monitors so we can see who's participating?
no,
I would have no idea how to do that. The crew was in here and it's only a limited, because it's a web format Zoom. I don't understand the difference between the platforms, but this is fire department equipment, so I don't want to start messing with it. So I'm sorry. We'll make a note of that for next meeting to see if we can use all 4 monitors, okay? Thanks.
okay. Number,
Hold on,
yes,
I just want to say I'm already impressed with what I see. This is amazing. You're doing a fantastic job already. I'm excited what I see. Welcome, Patty.
Thank
You guys are doing a great job. It's like, feels like brand new and fresh, and we're excited to see what happens. We need a strong AWAC. And we're excited about that. So good job already. You've done a great job so
Okay.
far.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, number 8, old business.
Question.
Oh my
Well,
goodness. We can hold
Wait
on.
until public
Yeah.
comment, so we can get, we're
I appreciate
almost
that.
there. We just gotta give you the 1405 update.
We're so close. Are you okay with waiting, ma'am?
I'm very confused. I thought number 8 is public comments.
No, it isn't. Not at least in regards to what I have. Public comment is coming though. I promise you that I will allow public comment. Did I miss something? Is
Yeah.
everyone in the
It
room?
says 8 public
Yeah,
comment.
public comment.
Okay, so mine is a little bit different. That's okay. I appreciate the polite notification. That's when we move into, all right, well, thank you for your grace. I appreciate that. We'll make sure you have an opportunity to speak.
So
Okay,
the opportunity is now, sorry.
Don't be accused of outbursts.
No, go right ahead, sorry, thank you. We were confused, not, and we confused you, we apologize. Thank you.
I am confused as to, it appears that Ms. McGonigle was sitting there, but I don't recall hearing that she's been seated, that she's been approved, nothing on the agenda to indicate that, as the other meetings have when new board members appear. So was it voted on? Did you meet? Why is this not being documented in your agenda?
After the last meeting, we had an interview with Ms. McGonigle, and it was a unanimous board decision that she be seated on the board. So they just, tonight, because that was the last meeting, May 9th, the papers were just signed today. And so she is our official new board member.
But what is going on in the budget was to the other three that were appointed by Richard Scott.
If I missed that, I'm sorry. I'll put it on the next agenda and we'll make it really official for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Are we ready for,
Yeah, I've got a couple of comment cards here. And
Not good. I would send my comment.
don't see any hands raised on Zoom yet. So, okay, Mr. Hack.
Yeah, I just had a quick question for you. The post office over here is right behind the post office. I work at the post office and they were cutting down some huge trees. I mean, diameters about like this, huge trees. And they cut down quite a few trees.
Okay,
So of course, this sparks a question in my mind. And so I walked up and waved to the lady with the yellow vest on to come over. And I asked her, I says, well, ma'am, I said, I noticed you're cutting down some huge trees here. Have you got your permit from AWAC to do this? And her answer was, no, we don't need a permit. We're from Edison, so we get to cut down the trees. Well, my question to you is, if Edison can go around and cut down trees to protect their lines, their Edison lines, without a permit required, why is it that homeowners, if the fire department comes by and says you need to cut down these trees to protect your homes and gives you an order to cut down trees, why is it we have to get a permit and pay the expense for cutting down the trees? Why is that?
well, if you have a letter from the fire department that says you have to cut down the tree, we still, and we've had dozens and dozens of insurance letters this year. Getting notification that their insurance is, their homeowners, their fire insurance is not going to be renewed unless they take care of this tree, that tree, trim it, remove it. So there's still a permit fee for that. Actually, we've had some that needed to be expedited. And I mean, we're talking about a 4-day turnaround to get the permit and get out and take a look and make sure everything that's going down is what needs to go down. But it's still a permit process. Edison is exempt. We cannot interfere at all with the transmission of electricity on the mountain. So Edison does what they do to preserve the provision of electricity. And if the fire department gives you a letter and says this tree needs to come down, you seriously don't even need to go out and inspect.
Well, just to follow up, I did get a memo from the fire department saying that I needed to do this in order to get insurance because the Allstate insurance was gonna cut off my insurance. So I did what they said and I got my insurance approved. And that's when I got a letter from AWAC saying, it doesn't matter, you didn't pay your $50 permit fee. So now you have to pay the fine that we're gonna fine and, you know, the $12,000 fine for doing that.
Mr. Head, is this in reference to the action in 2015, 2016?
Yes, this is the
Okay.
lawsuit that I went through. But I mean, I'm just saying, so that people don't have to go through this, what I went through, 2 years of court and legal expenses and everything.
Right,
If the fire department comes up and says you need to cut down those trees,
right.
why is it that AWAC, a nonprofit corporation, can't work with that homeowner and say, yes, you do need to cut down because like in Edison, the fire department says you have to cut down the tree or they won't come and protect your home,
Mr.
which they
Head,
didn't do in 2 of the fires.
It's a brand new day here at AWAC, and I can promise you that the fire department comes out and tells you to take down a tree, we are gonna expedite helping you make that happen.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for bringing that forward, because you were the one person I really wanted to understand that this is different.
Well, as a retired firefighter, it means a lot to me to have my home protected from the fire department. You know, and if they want the trees down, that has to be done.
Okay, you just let us know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see, Juliana Halstead.
Hi, thank you. We came a little late. Did I miss something? Have you been appointed to the board?
No.
Okay, so I was wondering why you're the one speaking on behalf of the board.
because I'm the one who's in the office. These are all new. I've been there since November. I have a little bit more background on all of this.
Okay.
And if I had
I
an
would
issue, I'm sorry.
recommend you defer that because it's not in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. So we're gonna start my time now. So again, I'm going to point out on your financials, I have yet to receive an answer regarding the construction deposit that should be maintained in a separate trust account. They are always included as income. Homeowners are not refunded that money. There's no intent made to contact homeowners for that money. So you're in breach of your fiduciary duty. Secondly, there are numerous items, tree permit, this month you have it broken down. Paint permit, permit fees, siding, tree permit. You don't break down the permit fees, and AWAC, according to my CCNRs, is only permitted to collect a $50 plan review fee in certain tracts for certain services. A plan review fee. They're not entitled to collect permit fees. Mr. Hack is probably due a refund because he shouldn't even been charged $50 for a tree permit. Lastly, you have this, you insist people apply for permits, yet they are not allowed to apply for a permit until they sign your arbitrary and capricious permit application contract, which lays the basis for a lawsuit for a cause of action for breach of contract. So none of these items are allowed by the CCNRs. So I would recommend, if, as you say, it's a new day for AWAC, you really look at your practices, because I would submit that you do not have a way to become fiscally sound by conducting business the way you have been on other people's money.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, and
I see one hand raised, Garen. I think it's Katie that's running by, there we go. You may open the chat.
Hello?
Hi, Garen.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I have a fast, quick question here. There's a document that you posted on the AWAC website. At the bottom of the document, it says submitted by Jennifer Silvestri, AWAC staff, April 18th, 2024. At the top of the document, it says AWAC staff report. Staff has completed the following operational priorities on or before March 15th. It lists the items that you've completed. Filing of 2022 taxes, completion of 2023-2024 workers' compensation insurance audit, processing of 2024-2025 directors and officers insurance, processing of liability insurance, charitable organization filing with the state of California, payment of all outstanding invoices, updating and reconciliation of QuickBooks and bank account, and initiated creation of the 2024 annual budget. I went ahead and took a look at the Secretary of State's website. It might be premature and they probably don't have it uploaded yet, but I didn't see the tax returns filed for 2022. And I also didn't see the statement of information or the RRF1 filing. My question to you, you personally filed the 2022 tax returns?
No, our CPA did, sir.
Okay, so the question that I have is for 2022, there's no annual budget. There's been no accounting that I've asked for it, and I was told that there is no 2022 annual budget. Nothing's been drafted. How would the accountant know the different line items on the bank statements to be able to create the ledger, to be able to file the tax returns that you guys just filed?
The way they would know, Ms. Garen, is that I went through the bank statements line by line. We spent several hours on the phone with the CPA going through to categorize and classify the expenses, the income. It was arduous, is all I can say, but we did get it filed. I don't know why it's not on the Attorney General's website. As a matter of fact, you asked me for a copy. You wanted to come in and view it, and I've had it sitting on my desk now for about a month and a half, so it's,
Yeah.
we've got it. I'll be happy to scan it and send you a copy in the morning.
Well, my request, I work with attorneys who do tax law. We do audits all the time with the IRS and the franchise tax board. I'd like to see the bank statements. The ledger is not going to be too helpful for me because those can be fudged. So I'd like to see 12 months of bank statements for 2022. Will the board allow me to see the bank statements? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bartarian.
Okay, thank you. Next is Crystal Upton, it looks like, online. Crystal?
I'm sorry.
Hello? Did you?
Can
want
you
to-
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I will use the best of my 3 minutes. So congratulations to the new board. I guess my one question to you, and I understand how you guys are reading your bylaws, or I guess how maybe you're perceiving your bylaws, but the first initial Article 2, Article 3, if you look in the very original portion of the bylaws that we have, and the directors of the corporation under Article 4, number and qualifications. Corporation shall consist of at least 7, but no more than 9 members, which shall consist of the board of directors. Now, I know in various other excerpts, which is what we had audited last year, which I don't know what you guys are doing more with an audit than what we paid an attorney for, but it states the majority number. But the bottom line is, if somebody sues the organization, Section 2, I mean, it has on there what the minimum number of board members are. So I don't understand why you guys are making decisions like you're making without at least 7 board members before revising things. So I just want to put that out there. The second thing, as Ms. Holstead said, when she first commented, your financials are incorrect. You're not showing deposited funds. You're showing assets, which are not assets. Those are funds collected as damages. I don't think you guys have any operating funds at all. You've been misappropriating people's funds, which your bylaws were revised in 2021 that I have right here, which the court ordered us to do as a part of one of the lawsuits for expenditure of damages recovered by tree damages. None of those are to pay your guys' operating expenses. So the financials that you release to that audience, I mean, those aren't even financials. They're unless you guys have no outgoing costs and you just have money sitting as assets. So I asked at the last meeting a number of questions. None were addressed. None were responded to. I did ask for the money that the current board members have accepted to be repaid back, because that's the community's money. That's not for you to take in, right? Just pursuant to exactly what your bylaws are. I understand you guys are going to try to rewrite your bylaws with your 4 board directors there, but your treasurer is sitting there and approving financials that are incorrect. You guys are approving meeting minutes. I mean, I worked so hard to make this like an organization of integrity and honesty. And I feel like everything that you guys are doing with it is doing completely the opposite. I mean, since 2022 taxes have been filed, it will come out what, the prior executive director's salary was that Mr. Scott unanimously on his own directed without the board of directors giving any approval or knowledge of. I didn't find out until I took over the position. I mean, there's a number of issues, but I don't, there you go.
Crystal, thank you for your comments.
Marilyn Deschelle?
Hi, I want to thank you all for volunteering, for this position. I know it's usually a thankless job. But I just don't notice on here in the expenses, operating expenses. Are there salaries for you and for Rich?
I will tell you that there are salaries. Unfortunately, prior administration with AWAC classified them as inventory. So myself and the bookkeeper have been spending a couple hours a month trying to go back through, recategorize, reclassify the expenses and the income. It's been, again, quite a task, but we're almost caught up. And I promise my board, and I promise all of you that you will have accurate financials. They will not have payroll categorized as inventory. It will be accurate. Payroll will be categorized as payroll in the financials coming up. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so I'm not missing anything.
No, you're not. No, you're not. It's,
Thank you.
we couldn't put it in there because it was not.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank
Last month it was
Frank
categorized
Smith?
as administrative pay.
Excuse me.
Last month it was categorized as administrative.
And
Mr. Smith,
Thank you, Mr.
And
Smith.
Rich's salary was categorized as inspection fees.
excuse me?
You guys finish.
Yeah,
Mr.
they've
Smith.
already,
Thank
the
you.
lady has already been given the opportunity to speak, and no
Okay.
disrespect, but it's like, I really do want to run a professional organization, so let's be respectful of each other. Thank you. Mr. Smedley?
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the conflict of interest I've seen over the last, well, not just with this organization, but LACSD, Country Club, all these good old boy networks. I'm really concerned that this conflict of interest is taking advantage of the local people. And I'm not gonna distinguish between STRs or full-time or part-time. Because if you own a property here, you should be given the same right regardless of whether it's full-time or part-time. But I do think we need to consider who the attorney is of record for this organization, who, I listened to the LACSD meeting the other day, and I saw a chart that really amazed me. And one of the biggest consumers of our water is the Country Club. But they pay the least amount of per acre foot. And regardless of what kind of contract or agreement was done years and years ago, I think that needs to be revisited because it's not in the best interest of the people, all the people in Lake Arrowhead, just a select few. And I keep seeing everything come back to the Country Club and that good old boy network. And that's my 2 bit.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Do you have any other comments?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it just has a silent mic.
I didn't know what you guys were going to talk about, that 2010 ballots, then I can make my comments. It's fine.
Well, Mr. Naragi, we're gonna stick with the order of the agenda. So once we leave the public comment, it closes. So if you would like to make a comment,
Now's the time.
please do.
One thing I need to know is, not everybody volunteer, that's fine for volunteer board. But whoever elected you as a board member was Mr. Rich Scott. And I'd like to know the chain of events. When was he appointed as the president of this board to be able to appoint the other people? Because from what we understood, that he already quit and he's no longer was part of the board, this board anyways. So he has no business to be appointing anybody in here unless he was appointed by somebody. Nobody appointed him. And if nobody appointed him, then all you people are following him. I'm sorry to say that you have good intentions in mind, but who gave him the legal rights to appoint you? That's what I'd like to know. And we've asked for this Congress to audit your ballot for 2010, and he always dodged the questions and he doesn't know what it is, or he plays like it doesn't exist or whatever, but there's other previous board members here that is stated differently. And that's what I was going to talk about you after you speak about what is this 2010 balloting things going on, if you are actually legit even from 2010. If you didn't have the ballot in 2010, this board doesn't have a business to be in business. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments.
We have one more.
One more.
Mr. Halsted.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I would like to speak concerning the forms you put out that are called a ballot, but in essence are called power of attorney, they're a power of attorney. So when you use those forms, well, whoever signed them and returned them in, they didn't conform to the declaration of restrictions at the beginning, because they weren't notarized and acknowledged. And secondly, they were used as a ballot, not a power of attorney. So it was an invalid process from the beginning. And so it's gonna come up again in 2025. So the forms you're using are still invalid. I don't know who concocted them, but they're still wrong. So either it's gonna be corrected by litigation or by the honorable board. Change the forms. But
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate that, especially as we go into planning for 2025. Okay.
Okay, we're moving forward to the next item, old business, which addresses an update on SB 1405, the redaction. And Jennifer, Jennifer, you're tracking this right currently, but I have some comments that were shared. And this is as of today. Per Senator Ochoa Bogue's office, SB 1405 is not a fiscal bill and therefore does not have to go to appropriations. The emphasis for the current legislative session is on appropriations, and therefore the non-fiscal bills can be moved to later in the session. SB 1405 is in the Assembly, but has not yet been assigned to a committee. When it is assigned, it will likely be on the committee's consent calendar. AWAC will be advised when SB 1405 will be included in a committee consent calendar. And the senator will advise everyone when it is time to send letters of support to the committee chair. The senator's staff feels this will occur late July for an early August consent calendar. 8B, 2010 CCR renewal ballots. The 2010 CCR renewal ballots were recently located by staff in the AWAC storeroom.
Oh.
And brought to the attention of this current board. We acknowledge that individuals who formerly held leadership positions within AWAC publicly stated several times that the ballots could not be located. We cannot address those misstatements as we too understood the ballots to be missing. Moving forward, several tracts that cast ballots in 2010 are not among those that were found. If an Arrowhead Woods property owner wants to review their ballot, they may make an appointment to do so. Ballot review appointments information will be posted on the AWAC website within the next 2 weeks. Please note that the 2010 CCR renewal process closed 14 years ago and cannot be reopened. We will set in motion a CCR renewal process for 2025 that will serve our property owners well. We welcome your advice, suggestions, and of course, engagement in that process. Under new business, item number 9. Due to several factors that have come to light since January 2024, AWAC is in discussions with an auditor / CPA to conduct a forensic audit of AWAC financials over the past 5 to 6 years. Currently, we are engaging in a cost-benefit analysis of this potential forensic audit. At this time, I would be willing to entertain a motion from the board regarding the acceptance of proposals, to accept proposals for this forensic audit. Do I have a motion for this?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
To
Any
accept
discussion?
proposals or to review proposals?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Well, what was the motion?
Item number 10, staff report, informational only. Jennifer, do you have something you would like to share?
Okay, so as you all know, I divided the work that's done in the office between operations and organizational development. On the operations front, we did finalize a draft 24-25 AWAC budget, which the board will be looking at tonight. We are beginning and continuing the cleanup of QuickBooks via corrected categorization and classification of income and expenses. We have begun the close of the 2023-2024 AWAC financials in preparation for tax filing in August. And we established the need for a forensic audit, recommended audit, and CPA to conduct the audit to the AWAC board, and more information will be coming on that. Under organizational development, drafted, and actually I had to redo it. An NDA for approval by the board, drafted an AWAC privacy statement, drafted an AWAC inspection policy, and consulted with our CPA and conducted research to create AWAC document retention policy. And I think that was all on the policy front this month. So, yeah, my report. Thank you.
I will tell you that we've been very busy, a very active board. When I first came on, I was told it would take about an hour a month of commitment. I'm pretty sure it's about 20 hours a week, but I'm okay with that. And I appreciate the support of the board members and of Jennifer as well.
And if I could make one more comment, I have 25-year career in supporting, guiding, leading, forming community benefit organizations. Mostly to get them positioned to accept very large grants from different government agencies, from the employer I worked for, and other entities. As a result, I've worked with hundreds of people on dozens and dozens and dozens of boards. And I can tell you without question, I have this board drinking from a fire hose. They are fabulous. They are committed to making the changes that are needed to be made. They are committed to making this organization an organization that serves the community, serves its constituents, protects the aesthetics of Arrowhead Woods, and preserves our forests. So truly, if you can help them out at all in any way, shape, or form, please help them and help me turn off that fire hose a little bit by getting this all stabilized. Thank you.
I'm used to fire hoses.
No, you are.
I worked in the fire service. Number 11, director's comments. That was a lot. We are making changes at AWAC that are responsible and responsive. As we move through this transitional period and plan for the immediate future, we ask for your forbearance and your support. We are committed to creating a more inclusive organization and one that embraces truth, transparency, and engenders trust. We will continue to battle the battle against misinformation. Most recently, misinformation included a gross exaggeration of the premium paid by AWAC for the 2024-2025 Directors and Officers Insurance, and the amount of a retainer paid to a local attorney last July for an AWAC project. Alleged AWAC spreadsheets are also circulating, which have no identifiers. No indication whatsoever that the spreadsheets contain AWAC information and no author. It is our firm belief that those spreadsheets cannot be trusted. Much has been said recently about AWAC's construction deposits. This month, staff has begun to request separate checks for construction permit fees and construction deposits because we agree that the deposits must be kept separate and not placed into the AWAC checking account. In fact, we are surprised that this practice was not in place in years past. A separate bank account will be established next week for the deposits, and staff will now proactively seek to refund the deposits. The changes to the management of the deposits will be aligned with general accounting practices, which also have not been in place previously. The CPA, who will conduct our forensic audit, or that we propose, will augment those general accounting practices with recommendations on additional safeguards to ensure AWAC finances are in top form. This evening in a closed workshop, the board will begin deliberation on an approval of a myriad of critical policies and procedures that we've been reviewing in advance and making our comments. The revised guidelines to owning of property and the AWAC bylaws. There is much work to do to rebuild AWAC into the accountable and reliable organization our community needs and deserves. We will advise you of each policy and procedure enacted, as well as publish the new guidelines and bylaws. We hope to complete this large body of work within the next 60 to 90 days. And as Jennifer said, we've been really trying to move fast. Okay. Okay, so confirmation of the next board meeting. The next AWAC board meeting will be held on June 20th, 2024 at 5:30 PM here at Fire Station 91. And we will have the Zoom opportunity present for those who wish to participate online. And I'm really pleased and grateful for your professional engagement this evening. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. I have a motion
Question
from the
before you
board.
adjourn, ma'am.
You have a
A
question?
second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Finish what you said. Thank you very much.
Thank you for attending, everyone.
Thank you.